So first job for today is to replace these doors, which I actually have already done. As you can see, there's a new one. But I'll show you how to replace these doors because it is not as hard as I originally thought from seeing people on YouTube do it. First thing to do is your check strap, like if you want to take the door off. That will go through there and there'll be a little pin that you got hit from the bottom out. Just get a hammer or a screwdriver, it comes out pretty easy. That's no dramas. Then you've got these pins here, but to do that, close the door. One sec. After you do the check strap, I would recommend doing the connector. Just simply unplug it from in there. This is a different connector. Worth noting, I got these doors off of VY, an S-Pack, and these connectors are different to my VT ones. Like fair bit different, they're just a different loom. So that is worth noting. If you have a VT and you get a door off of VY, you will have to change the inner door loom, which I'll have to do. Post-production Joseph here. That's not entirely correct. VT Series 1 was different to VT2 through to VZ. So those doors being off of VY, they would work with a Series 2 VT or a VX, a VY or VZ. They're all the same loom, but Series 1 VT was different. That is worth noting. But once you do the connector, all that's left are these two pins up here and here. What you want to do is get a 9mm spanner. You put it around the pin like that. Then you get a flathead screwdriver and you just simply put the head of it underneath the spanner right there, because this pin has to go up, and then simply hammer the screwdriver into the spanner and the spanner will pull it up. And it's the same for the top one, just in reverse. You put this there, then you put the head of the screwdriver right there, hit down, that pin comes out. Pretty simple, and then the door comes out. Actually, a lot easier than I thought it was. So these two doors are now done. I do have to change the door cards and the loom, as I said, but the doors are on, as you can see. This one, the only dent it has is right up top here, which you can just see there. Very, very small dent. Something PDR can take care of. Other than that, I now have two straight doors, which is going to make the bodywork a lot cheaper for me. Just to get a front guard back again, because for some reason I'm missing some videos which I know I recorded but I cannot find. Either way, I bought a VY Calais which had an X-Force exhaust on it. You may or may not see that car on the channel just yet, but I took the X-Force exhaust off the Calais, put it onto the Clubby, and put the Clubby's redback system with holes in it onto the Calais. That's what these videos are about. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm sorry. Redback exhaust from the Clubby with all the holes in it. It's now installed on the VY. It's just because I don't have another exhaust to put on. It's just because I wanted to put the X-Force one on the Clubby to make it sound a little bit better. So this is on, I'll slow it down, get the car off the hoist, see how it sounds kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. Get the Clubby on the hoist and then put that on. Kicking this car has, let's see how it sounds. Well, it certainly sounds better than before actually. I think this exhaust sounds better for the V6s, not that I like one on the V6s. You only hear the mighty exhaust leaks. It's running like crap. There's the ticking slash knocking. Can't even hear up here. Yep. Oh, nah, it works. It is what it is. Now we give it a quick cheeky little rev. Engine's a bit raw. The X-Force exhaust is finally actually all bolted up. All the hangers are on. I had to get these middle hangers done. The main issues were it's not actually that bad now. It's actually pretty good once I've done it all up. This was literally touching the tyre. That was bad. The other issue is the drive shaft on the exhaust. Although I'm hoping once I sit the car on the ground, that drive shaft will move up. I'm hoping it moves up enough that it won't be touching the exhaust. There's only one way to find out, I guess. That's to go on the ground and have a look. But yeah, that's been a tough job. That has taken, to swap over the exhaust, it has taken 4 hours. 4 hours, and I had the assistance of a hoist. So yeah, pretty exceptionally bad. Well, that answers that. With the car on the ground, it does clear. Hopefully it never does touch, but yes, it does clear. So far, it's all good news. We'll start it up, see how it sounds. Let's start it up. Let's see how it sounds. sound a little different. Bit deeper out the exhaust. The other fitment issue I forgot to mention was actually, as you can see, the tailpipes. Cannot get them right. This was basically how it was on the VY, but even worse, and it melted the side of the bumper. So that's something I got to fix pretty quick, because I do not want to do that. But it does sound better. I can still hear exhaust leaks up there, but now there's no constant exhaust leak out the side here, so it certainly sounds better. Let her warm up, give her some rev, see how she sounds. Well, let's have a quick listen to the exhaust. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Oh, that actually sounds really good on the outside. A bit quiet, but it's that sounds really tough.
But I was employed through them. They were employed through VACC because they were school-based schools. So they weren't allowed to drive the cars because they weren't insured.
Say there, but that was basically me flow testing the injectors of the Clubby at TAFE. Unfortunately, we were out of injector fluid, so there was like this much left in the bottom. So that's why it doesn't look great, but basically each injector seemed to have certainly a spray pattern. It wasn't just kind of a stream of fluid coming out, so it certainly looked like they were all right, at least, without being able to say completely confidently because there wasn't much fluid. But yeah, they seem alright. I did break one slightly, but it's alright. It was just a piece of plastic around the top. It wasn't a seal or anything. So yeah, back in the car, they seem to be all good. Bloody hell, that's loud. Sounds really nice. Well, I'm actually currently in the Clubby. Just I was planning to put this little noise damper on, or at least place it and see how it's meant to go. And I noticed that because I do have issues with this thing still getting into reverse. It went in nicely that time, but sometimes it doesn't go into reverse. First or second easily, and reverse, which it still doesn't like. But one thing I did notice was when I shift it down, any of the gears, fourth or second, it is smacking, please focus, it is smacking hard up against that plate. But there's a fair gap at the front, so this needs some sort of adjusting. So I think what I'll try and do is loosen all these screws on the top plate and see if I can just move this plate back. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to mess with it and try and figure it out. Because, yeah, it does need some improvement. I'm still thinking about just going to the standard shifter because I'm having so many issues with this. Well, my interest is certainly peaked. I've pulled off the top plate and those two thingies. The gold things were the ones that were hitting against the rod. And then underneath there's a little seal of some sort. Yeah, I'm interested now to see if I can pull it apart, find anything wrong. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I don't know how this works, so if I can find the way to improve it, I will. So that's why I'm pulling it apart. Well, I basically just undid every bolt other than the two at the bottom, because there's a nut underneath to hold the shifter on. I undid every single bolt and I moved everything around, and it just looks like by slightly repositioning the middle bit and the top bit. Now, if I go to shift first, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse is... oh no, reverse. Reverse is the hardest, but it's a lot easier to do. But the main thing's first and second shift nice now. So I'm pretty sure, oh, I had fingers in the way. I'm pretty sure that's fixed it. So I won't really know until I drive it a bit, because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think hopefully just slightly repositioning a few things has fixed it. Well, I have learnt a little bit more too about the noise damper that goes underneath these things. This is what normally comes in the Get Drags. mine came with it, but it didn't come with any bracket to like kind of bolt it and seal it to the floor. So I bought this one off eBay, which I know it's only for the LSs, which have the 6-speed Tremec box. It is different. It's not meant for this car. Well, not meant for this gearbox, rather. There's a metal plate that goes around it, and it bolts it down through the floor. This, for some reason, didn't come with it. I could go and make a plate for it, but I'm not sure why, but this doesn't fit too well. It is a little big. All I've done is I've shoved it into the hole, and honestly, it seems to do a decent job. Like, it's semi-sealed. The only problem is the holes in the floor. I'm gonna run with this for now and see if it works, and just try and plug the holes in the floor. Maybe, I don't know, just see if I can find a plug, or just chuck a bolt in there or something. But I don't know, hopefully that would fix the heat and the noise coming up through the tunnel. The noise is incredible. You hear so much whine. I literally had a guy, one of my co-workers, think I had this thing supercharged because of the whine coming through there. Hopefully that fixes it. I'll let you know. Center console's all back together, and yeah, gear shifter's on. Feels nice. So yeah, it's actually bolted in now. I've had it unbolted for ages. I've left this loose because I do need to replace this. The both rear switches don't work, but I will probably pull it apart at some point and see if I can fix it. I've got bigger issues to fix right now, like getting the door limbs for these rear doors and putting the Clubsport door cards on them. So I would like to try and do that next. Otherwise, I might change the rocker cover gaskets because I have new ones. Well, as you can see, I actually went to the wreckers yesterday and I got some wiring looms for both rear doors. And I've just thrown one of them in. Before I did that, I plugged it in, checked, make sure everything works. It does, which is fantastic. So got that in. I'll do the other side. I'll take the old one out, put the new one in, and then put the Clubsport cards back on. And then finally, this interior will be fully complete again, other than still having to do the headliner. But yeah, it should be much better. One side complete, everything's back together. Finally, it looks much better with Clubsport door cards on it. Just got to do that side now. I don't know if I've actually showed it, but this is what behind the bumper looks like after I've repaired it. You can see we straightened out the red support there. You can see the damage to the guard where it's the metal has started tearing after I tried to fix it. But also, it's meant to, the metal's meant to right at the crease line fold straight back, but it doesn't. It comes down a bit. That's kind of one reason the guard needs to be replaced, because of the massive dent there. But yeah, here's the straightened frame rails, new rebars on it. So yeah, pretty happy with the repair. Everything's straight. The only damage is that, but that's all cosmetic. I really don't care about that. So yeah, that's how we got everything straight, and that's what it looks like now. I'm doing a lot of these post-production videos, but that is basically the crack in the rear bar, no, the front bar that I had to get repaired. That was a video I showed to the guy who was going to repair it. As you'll see later in either this video or the next video, he did repair it, ready for paint. I do have another guard which I am going to put on, but for the sake of the fact that I've got 3 other dents on the car which I need to fix, and I cannot seem to get anyone to do them, I would actually really like to learn bodywork, plus I want to anyway. I'm going to practice on this guard because there's that dent there. Looks like a fairly simple dent. I think I'll try fix that. If I feel really confident, maybe do that. But yeah, I'm just going to try that. But I just realised, having looked at this is still not perfectly flat, the support for the bumper, for the guard, sorry. It does need to come out a bit, so I'm literally just going to try and pull it out a bit. I'll keep trying that and see if I can do anything. Well, that is the first time I've ever taken sandpaper to a perfectly good paint job. But yeah, I've done it. I'm basically following a Chris Fix video on how to repair dents. 80 grit sandpaper, go around the dent, like all the way out around the dent, get it down to bare metal. Make sure the whole thing is completely sanded down to bare metal, which it is now. And now I've got to clean up some alcohol and then start layering some primer on it. I don't know why that won't focus. Sorry, start laying some body filler into it. So I've got to mix some of that up. Well, I mixed up some of this body filler I just got from Autobarn and chucked some on. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just, like I said, following a Chris Fix video. But yeah, I pressed it in, chucked some on, got it sitting a bit higher than the rest of the bodywork so I can sand it down. Unfortunately, I did not mix the hardener properly. I had a little bit left on my the flat thing. What's this called? This thing. I had a little bit left on that, so I have mixed it through. Hopefully that doesn't matter though. I can just send that part down. The part that counts is in here. So we'll let it cure a bit, give it 15 minutes, and then see how it is. Well, I have been sanding away kind of all afternoon, just trying to get the right amount. It was unfortunately quite high before, and I sanded it down again, and this time I've gone too much, and now I can feel a little low spot. That's alright, I'm going to put some glazing putty on tomorrow, and try sand it again and see if that'll fix it. You're not going to believe it, I'm back again, because once again I'm missing a video that I thought I filmed. Basically, I put glazing putty on it, I sanded it. The glazing putty's crap, like I don't know actually what it is. It just lays like crap. It's kind of pasty and stuff. Anyway, it didn't really do anything. The idea glazing putty is to fill in all the little pinholes and any low spots that are applied in filler, and then you sand the glazing putty and then you can prime it on top of the glazing putty. The body filler I have seems to be like an all-in-one because it's quite good actually. It doesn't have any of those pinholes or whatever, so I didn't need to use the glazing putty, but I put some on anyway just because that's what you're meant to do. I'm not going to try and break the rules on my first go at it. But yeah, put it on, sanded it, got it perfectly flat, and as you'll see later, primed it, painted it. So it turned out great. Just got the front bar back from a guy who helped me out big time by filling in this bumper, repairing it, and priming it, all for an extremely good price. Have a look at the repair. See there, he's filled it and reinforced it, so that shouldn't crack. But yeah, the car is so close now to getting painted. It just needs to do the 3 dents on the side, and then it's basically ready. Well, other than swap out the skirts and the guard, the trim off. This car is, it's not too far off paint, so now it's time to start getting it ready for yeah, to take it to the paint shop in the next coming weeks. Well, I've been taking this side skirt off now, and to do so, there's these clips that look like this underneath the car and on the side under the sill. Almost all of them are not coming out. They will not thread with the screwdriver, so I'm straight up having to drill them out. They look, yeah, something like this. So that seems to be just old clip things that are just threading. Yeah, you're gonna have to do that most likely, but it's alright. It's about to come off. The rocker panel is now off, and you can just see how bad the damage is on it. Like, that is destroyed. In the back half is just missing. But with that off, now, I mean, I didn't have to actually take it off, but I have access to these 2 bolts now for the guard. Guard can come off. I have to take it off anyway because I got to test fit a new one and make sure that the new ones do fit up. The front guard is now off, as you can see. The car's starting to look quite disassembled again. No skirts, no guard, no bumper. But no, on good news, I can actually probably get to this damage again a bit more. I might be able to do a bit more work with that. Pull it out if I remove the headlight. And everything behind here is straight. That looks really straight. So yeah, all good. We'll put the new guard on, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I have been smacking this quite hard, and it is straight, but it is a bit lower now. But I can see if I can adjust it with this to make the guard line up. Otherwise, I'll just do what I did before and jack it up and get it back to place. I've got some really good news. This is not fully bolted up, but I've just mocked everything up to see how things line up. This is perfect. That is perfect. Like, the gaps are perfect. I've left the light a little loose, but the gaps are perfect. Putting this new guard on has suddenly brought everything perfect. It's awesome. This is the side that was hit, and it's good. Like, I could even fiddle with it a bit more. In fact, the other side that isn't hit is now the worst side, the one that I would work on a bit more. Like, the gap's a bit big here compared to the other side, and the headlight is a little bit there, but this is really good. And the bonnet gap is now the same on each side basically. Before it used to be really close on this side. Not anymore. The only thing I can't seem to fix is the waviness in the bar. Unfortunately, I think the bar's been stretched, and I can try to fiddle with it with some heat maybe or something, but I need to get someone else's opinion on that. But yeah, that's looking really good. So I think I'll just finish bolting everything up, and then that's that job done. Well, back on the Clubby again, and we're not far off getting it ready for paint. the last major thing to do really is get these dents sorted. There's that one in the boot, which is quite a pinhole. And then on the front doors, there were two, very hard to see now. There was one here and one right there. This little one's under the mirror. So now they're both sanded down to metal. I'm going to clean them up with a bit of IPA, lay some filler on them, sand them, try and bring them back up. Just laid down the first coat of body filler. I didn't actually do quite a good job, but pressed it in, then laid a coat down on top. That one's all right. This one's, well, that's very thick. That is going to take a lot of sanding, but I just wanted to try get a good coat down and get it to adhere. So I'll let it dry. In the meantime, I think I might actually stick a new rear muffler section on this car, because last night I picked up an X-Force rear muffler which has a hot dog as opposed to a muffler, because mine, yeah, it's muffler and it's a bit quiet. So I think I'm going to quickly try and do that while the filler dries, and then go back to working on the dents. Old versus new. Unfortunately, the new one doesn't have the X-Force tips like my old one does, and they also look quite hideous, so they're going to need to be polished up. But before that, I figured we got to start it without a muffler. there's no rear muffler on the car at the moment. Let's see how loud it is. It's still got two center mufflers, so let's find out. All right, let's find out how loud this thing is with just two middle mufflers. It's actually not that bad. I actually kind of like that. That's not that bad. Oh, that's nice. It's got a verbal to it. And it is nice and loud, but it's not obnoxious. That's really nice. You know, I'm going to let it warm up a bit. I'm going to give it some revs and see how it sounds. Let's just give it a quick rev. It actually sounds really nice. It sounds quite good. Oops. It stinks under here and there's so much condensation everywhere now. Oops. Let's just get the rear muffler on. The new exhaust muffler section is bolted up. It's all complete. Unfortunately, I still cannot fix that issue. The other one does the same. Unfortunately, the entire exhaust sits crooked. I'm hoping to fix that when I put the pacemakers on it, because I'm pretty sure it's originating from up there. But let's start it. Let's see how it sounds. All right. Wow. Oddly enough, that sounds a tiny bit louder than without the muffler. Don't know how that works. You can certainly feel more exhaust pulses. Yeah, it's a little louder, a little louder. I'll let it warm up, give it some revs, see how it actually sounds. All right, it's time to give it a bit of a rev. Wow, that's a lot louder. That's good. Applied now a layer of glazing putty, although I do not think it's actually worth it because the body filler is quite good, doesn't really have any pinholes or anything. The glazing putty is just meant to be a sort of finer filler. Anyway, applied it, not very, you know, good looking, but should do the job. Applied them all there, it's drying now. Let it dry, sand it, see where we're at. I did have a little low spot here when I did the filler. I accidentally went a bit too hard on the 80 grit sandpaper. So, yep, hopefully that should fill it back up and then see how it turns out. All right, so a bit of an update. I put the blade putty on, or glazing putty as the Americans call it, I think. Sanded it down. This is all nice and smooth. That's ready for primer. And on the fronts as well, also done the same thing. Sanded down, ready for primer. I've taken the mirror off, taken the door card off. I'm gonna have to do that anyway because I've got to strip things from the car so I can paint it properly, because all this is to be cleaned. Literally the morning I'm gonna take it, like all the seals and stuff got to come off. Everything, door jambs has got to be cleaned. Inside the fuel flap, got to be clean. In here's got to be clean. This is going to be really hard actually to clean. There's so much crap. Like seals got to come off. In there's got to be clean. Basically everything. Wings got to come off. All here. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm gonna, basically chuck these in primer. I've actually sprayed the test panel just some paint I had lying around, because the primer did come out spluttery on that panel, and I did sand the primer down to try and get rid of the droplets. I'm just seeing how paint lays over it, because it's flat, but you can kind of see droplets in the primer. Either way, I'll see how that turns out. If it's alright, then I'll use the same primer to do this again. Worst case scenario, if it's crap, I can just sand it back off and redo all this. It would just save me having to buy another can of primer, which probably will have the same issue because it's an aerosol can. So that's where I'm at now. I'm just going to continue going ahead and just start stripping things off the car. Things like the mirrors I'm going to have held on by one screw, so when I get there I can take the mirrors off. The headlights is going to do the same. Tail lights, the badge has got to come off. The badge on the side skirt's got to come off. Side indicators, all this stuff's got to basically be ready. So well, let's start doing that, I guess. Well, as you can see, I've got everything masked up to actually lay some primer down on it. Just gonna quickly shake up the can, give it a good degrease, and then yeah, see how it lays down. Hopefully it doesn't splutter too bad, and hopefully it will look good. Well, the fourth and final coat is now laid. As you can see, it's still spluttering. I just quickly undid all the masking around the edges so it won't dry to it. I'm a bit of an idiot though, because I just realised I masked it so that I would spray the edge of the boot like with primer. That's a bit stupid, because I don't know when I get it painted if that's actually going to get painted. I should have actually masked the edge and just created a hard line of primer. So that's my mistake. I hope that won't bite me. This one turned out a lot better. It has a lot less splattering, as you can see. And I think I did one less coat on this than I did that one. The main reason is just where you do the repair. I noticed on the practice panel I did, which I'll show you actually. Once I primed it, and I thought I'd done enough, and you could see the outline of the repair I did, like that. And I thought, oh, when I lay paint on it, it will fix it. I have admittedly only done one layer of some sort of paint on this, but I can still see it. So, and also that was the big splutter that I had with the primer. I thought I sanded it down. I can't actually feel it, but it's showing, so some lessons learned for sure. Hopefully if I were to give this another coat of paint, I'm hoping that would disappear. Maybe that too. Either way, I'm just taking what I learnt and just realising, yeah, I should have done more coats of primer, so that's what I've done. Hopefully, plus I need to sand it down anyway because of all the crap spluttering, but I think that is almost the body done. All I got to do is sand this down and it should be good, because I cannot see a dent. I want to let it dry and I'll feel it, and it should be all good, because especially this one, this looks perfect. I cannot see where I previously repaired it. Hopefully it's all good. Gosh, there's just something about seeing your car in the state that's in. It's just, there's pieces missing. It's in 3 different colours. It's got parts hanging on the roof. There's parts all everywhere. Gosh. I hope it's worth it. I just really hope it's worth it. It's been a long journey with this car. Well, I had to start the car anyway because the battery died and I needed to turn the wheels because I'm doing the skirt at the moment, but considering I barely revved it last time, I think this time I'll give it a bit more of a rev and we'll actually see what it goes to. There you can see. Oh crikey, that's that's loud. Whoa, that's loud. That's real loud. Gold start. Yeah, it's kind of loud. Just have to turn the steering wheel, that's all. Back again, because I didn't realize this was going way over time, but that is basically it for this video. The next video will be final preparations for paint, getting it painted, and after the paint, because yeah, it was interesting. It's a lot different now, so stay tuned, have a look at that, and I'll catch you guys next time. God bless.